Hi all, welcome back to my channel. Can I just say I am so thankful it's a Friday. I thought I could jump on yesterday. For those of you who watch my videos, I am currently reviewing UK Traitors, and I thought I could do that yesterday. I have reviewed series 3 episodes 1 and 2, and I thought I could review the third episode yesterday, but my God, work was in fact, this week has just been one of those weeks. And I kind of feel like it's always like that after you've had a break and you're trying to get back into the swing of things. It just feels so overwhelming, and it feels like everything that you said you would pick up um, after the holiday just comes crashing down on you, and you've got so little time to do it, and you're kicking yourself. You're like, why didn't I just do this before the Christmas break? But then before the Christmas break, I checked out, and I was in holiday mood, and I was not ready to pick up anything, you see. So yeah, but anyway, you didn't need to know all that. How are you all doing? Is anybody glad that it's a weekend? I am so thankful. I am just going to kick back, just relax, just try and detach if I can from work for 2 days. And I don't know, I don't have any plans for the weekend, but I know I am definitely going to rest. I really need it. It just feels like this this week just feels like a month, if I'm being honest. So with that being said, since I wasn't able to review, um, do you know I keep getting it mixed up? Series, episodes, but you know what I'm talking about. I couldn't review episode 3 of series 3 yesterday. I thought I just lump episode 3 and 4, and I'll try and go through it, as quickly as I can, so this video is not too long. So I've got my notes because I've just realized I've been making a lot of errors. It's my first time. Forgive me. I'll get better. And so I've got my notes. So Ellen was kicked off season 2, if we remember. For those of us watching, so series 3 begins with everyone at breakfast, discussing, the fact that they had voted off yet another faithful, and just feeling bad. And I'm just like, gosh, I don't know. They are so emotional, but you do have to take into consideration their ages, don't you? Liv here was feeling so bad, and she was so tearful. But then again, she got to share something really private and vulnerable about about something that happened to her, which was her dealing with a rare form of cancer that led to her having a prosthetic eye. And I never knew noticed. If she hadn't said that, I would never had noticed. But when she said that, then I became a bit more aware and conscious, and I could see that that particular pupil doesn't move. So I think all that just made her super emotional for the fact that she spearheaded, Ellen being voted off. Anyway, Claudia comes in and tells them, there's basically just tells them there's going to be another challenge. So they all make their way to Riverside. There is a boat there, and this challenge involves them. They're supposed to row from one end to another. There is like a mini island shaped like, should I call it the shield, the traitor shield. And along the way, there are various stops. Some stops will have barrels with 2,500 pounds worth of coins in them. They were supposed to take these barrels onto their boat, and then when they make it to that island, they were supposed to light a fire with all of them inside. And the fire would be round the ring, and as long as for as many are inside that ring, they would be safe from the traitors. But then there was a twist, and they didn't know about this twist on their way. So they get into the boat, and the twist was when they get to one of the stops that had the barrels with the gold, before they could take it, they had to sacrifice two players. So my heart was beating for Amani because I was like, oh gosh, I hope Amani doesn't jump up and be like, I'll get off, and everybody will be like, in her mind, she thinks she is taking one for the team, but then others would look at her like, you're displaying traitors tendencies or traitors characteristics or whatever. Anyway, she didn't. So I was like, "Whew, Amani, you're learning." I think the first that got off, the first two that sacrificed themselves were Charlotte and Jake. They got off. Then they started rowing the boat, and Mina was sat in front of Linda, and everyone was chanting and pull and pull and pull. They had Francesca, and I believe the deaconess, Lisa, who were more like supervising them with rowing because the rest said they didn't have any boat experience. I think Mina had had enough of Linda's chant behind her. I think it was winding her up. And it just reminded me of a time many years ago when I was at work. There was this colleague that I worked with that would just not stop burping. He would go out, he would get himself this big breakfast, he would, eat everything up in like 2 minutes, and he would, take his coffee so loudly you would hear him slurping, and then he will just keep burping all through the day, and it used to wind me up. I think it's safe to say that most of my work was done in the toilet because I just kept on excusing myself. I just couldn't stand it. So the look on Mina's face when Linda kept on saying and pull and pull. Poor Linda was just rowing her boat, but Mina was getting so frustrated. When they got to the next stop, she was like, look, I'm getting off. So Mina comes off with Jasmine. And when he came off, I was like, why have you done this? People already suspect you to be a traitor. Now you've come off, you're giving them the impression that you're a traitor, so you really don't need to be in that ring of fire. Anyway, he comes off with Mina, and at the third and final stop before they got to to their main destination, Freddie and Maya, that's Amani's sister, they come off. And then Freddie is like turns to Maya, and he's like, some utters words, something along the lines of, I hope they don't win, they don't make it, because if they don't make it, then all of us are at risk. And that just sets off alarm bells in Maya's head. And Freddie he was just being a hater. He's a faithful, but he was just being a hater. And I was like, Freddie, why did you say that? I guess it's just one of those things you just talk without, reasoning. I think that's what happened to Freddie. They make their way to their final destination, but of course they needed to secure the boat properly. They still had Francesca and Lisa still in the boat. The others were making their way, trying to douse the outer ring with oh god, what, I can't remember the fuel now, and set it ablaze. And Francesca Francesca and Lisa were still asking, could you please secure the boat properly? But everyone was in a hurry because they had 60 minutes to complete this mission. Did I mention that it was 10,000 pounds for this particular challenge. I don't think I did. It's £10,000 for this particular challenge. They did sacrifice £5,000. They made it to the end of the challenge with £5,000. They managed to get Francesca and Lisa off the boat. Everyone goes into the circle except for Freddie, Maya, Charlotte and Jake, Mina and Jazz. So six other contestants were at the risk of being eliminated from the traitors because they sacrificed and got off, and the others made them their way into the ring of fire, and that protected them from the traitors. So that was the challenge. That ended, and sorry, they made their way. It was time for the banishment, so made their way to the room. Everyone sits at the round table, and just before, well, not just before that, earlier on in the show, I didn't mention this, but when they have their private confessionals, Mina is just like, not Mina, Amani, she's like, oh, she's enjoying this game, that she's feeling really good. And I'm like, you were you were so confident. I really do love this for you. I wish I was this way. She's like, nobody suspects a thing, that, she's just having the best time of her life and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, bless her heart. Ignorance really is bliss. Like, if only you knew your name is being thrown around, but Amani just lives in Amani's world, and you just have to love her for that. They make their way to the banishment room. Amani is so confident that, she is safe. She's done what she's supposed to do. She's just going to go there and give the name of any faithful, and that would be that. She's in the game. Her seat is secured. And they start, and I know Freddie's name was being thrown around. Kaz, bless his heart, his name is still being thrown around. And then Amani's name starts making its way around the table. She is shocked. She is so shocked. She can't believe it. Eventually, the heat is now on her sister, Maya, because people turn to Maya and they're like, do you suspect your sister is a traitor? And Maya is like, yeah, she does, about 60%. I think Maya does suspect Amani is a traitor. But, I think just a little part of her is thinking, oh, she's my sister, she can't. But, for the fact that she's a traitor, she's not like she's some sort of Russian spy. It's just a game. And one of the faithfuls, just made a statement that resonated so well with me from the beginning of the show, where I was like, you shouldn't have disclosed both of you were sisters, because the chances of one of you being picked to be a traitor is really high. And that's exactly what this faithful said. And I was like, there you go. So at the end of the votes, Amani had the highest number of votes. She comes up and she says she was a traitor. Tell me why Maya, the sister, just broke down and started crying. And I'm like, are you crying that you're going to miss your sister, or are you crying that you've just found out that, she was behind one? I don't know. I can't use certain words here on YouTube, but, it's some sort of terrorist attack or something like, or is it a combination or two of the two? Maya, they're all super emotional, but like I said, you have to take into consideration their ages, bless them. She broke down. She was really upset. She was really crying. She had to be comforted by so many people, and they were like, it's just a game, it really is a game. And then the show kind of ends, but it ends with a cliffhanger. They just show like this masked man, driving a single carriage, you know, these traditional carriages that are drawn by horses. But if you've watched the first episode, you would know that those that got off the train were just making a comeback to the show. So the traitors, oh sorry, before that cliffhanger, the traitors, that's Linda and Mina, got together to discuss who their next victim was going to be. Also forgot to say that during the during the banishment, Mina voted Amani as well, and Amani could not believe it. For the first time in my life, I saw her speechless. Like, oh my God, what happened to sisterhood or traitorhood? In this case, she couldn't believe that Mina voted her out. But Mina had been, tr- irritated at the way she was carrying on. She was too confident, she was too cocky, she was too loud, she was too in your face. She was giving all signs that she was a traitor. Voted her out, and Mina was like, wow, if this lady is not banished, then I've got a lot of explaining to do. And I was like, yeah, you do. You really do. Anyway, they discussed their next victim, which so happened to be Amani's sister. That I did not see coming. And that's when I sat up and I started to take another look at Mina. And I'm like, you're really intelligent. Not to say that she was not intelligent or anything, but I wouldn't have thought of eliminating Amani's sister. I would have gone for Jake, because Jake had been at Linda, and has always pointed a finger at Linda. But as Linda rightly said, it would be too obvious. And I was like, this old brain of mine. Um, but I thought maybe, okay, maybe Freddie or maybe someone else that the group already suspects to be a traitor. But, taking out Maya, it just throws up all sorts of confusion, because no one is even going to look at Linda or Mina at all. And they would just start working out, who is it that's got some sort of beef with Maya. Maya was the sweetest, well, not the sweetest, but she was a very sweet contestant. And I kind of, I didn't want her to leave that early, but I think that again the traitors did her a favor by voting her off, because she was too emotional and she didn't have that tough skin that this show will requires of its players. She didn't have that at all. And with her sister being voted off, I don't know how she would have fully integrated herself back, into the show. Anyway, then the cliffhanger, there's the three contestants that came off the train in episode three, season one. I'm just trying to get my words right. Um, their names are Alexander, Forzier, and Jack. So, season four begins with everyone arriving for breakfast, finding out that Meyer has been um, the traitor's latest victim. Everyone is shocked. And like I said, that's thrown off all kinds of confusion. Um, then Claudia comes in and tells them, that they've got yet another challenge for the day. And I'm enjoying these challenges. I think that the show has kicked off now. Initially, I thought, oh God, I don't know if I'm really enjoying this, but I am. I'm getting into it. I'm quite enjoying it now. I like the way the traitors are thinking. I'm not really enjoying the emotional tears and cry and woe is me and all that. Um, but I think it's gaining steam, and I'm here for it. So this challenge, they make their way into the woods. These three new contestants, they're all in cages, and they are all suspended. We're kind of like suspended, in midair. Um, they see them, and Dan, one of the faithful, goes like, "Oh, great, more people." Mina was like, "Claudia, what are you doing? I'm trying to get rid of these people. Trying to get rid of people, and you're replacing them." Oh, and everyone is like, okay, trying to work out what this challenge is about. So basically, they all had like lack of a better word, should I call them not funnels? Ooh, let me call them long cups. I don't know how else to describe this tube-like things underneath them. You're supposed to like go into the woods. There were bags all tied up. Try and get as many bags as possible. They all contained gold coins. Come, fill them into in each person suspended had their own individual tube. So if you could gather a minimum of 10, it would lower that person. And they needed two people to be lowered onto the ground first, and they would become part of the show. Whilst the third person, that's it, bye forever. And they all had shields. So it was at their discretion to give the oh to give their fellow contestants the shields after they had been lowered. So everyone goes, they start running. Mina is making it really obvious that, look, I'm going for you, Alexander. Was it Alexander she was fighting for now, or was it Faurzia? One of them. You're like, look, I'm trying to help you come down. I'm trying to help you come down, kind of a thing. They managed to get Alexander and Faurzia down, but Jack unfortunately did not come down, so everyone had to, bid him farewell, and that's it. Sorry, he's out of the game. They come in, and they come down. Sorry, Claudia says, "Okay, you cannot um join in banishing anyone at the round table, and you were safe from the traitors tonight." So then, but before the banishment, I believe it was Alexander. I believe it was Alexander that gave his shield to. Alexander gives his shield to Leanne, and I think Faurzia gives her shield to Mina. But I don't think Mina makes it. None of them makes it of public knowledge that they've gotten the shield from these ones. Anyway, it's banishment time, so they all go to the table, and as usual, everyone starts pointing fingers at people that they think are traitors. And unfortunately, our boy Kaz was on the chopping block, and he should have seen it coming. He should have just seen it coming. So he goes where he stands there, and he's like he's faithful, and everyone is like, oh God, but he did. I don't know why people suspect Kaz of being a traitor. I've sat down to look, like, he doesn't give me traitor vibes. He tries to integrate. He also has his own suspicions. So I don't know why it is people keep pointing fingers at this man. But that's it. His time is up. So we will find out. And that's it. And I am enjoying it. I am really, really enjoying it. I also heard that Traitors, the US version, started yesterday. It's on Peacock, I think. So I may look to I may look to sign up to Peacock just for that, because I really do like Traitors. Either that or I'll just wait until it comes onto BBC iPlayer, and hopefully I may review it. So if you've managed to watch to the end of this, I thank you. I appreciate you. It's been a very, very long week. I am off to have a shower, get something comforting to eat for tonight. I'm going to drift off, and I'm going to have a long lie-in tomorrow. But I would also be reviewing the season 4 of Traitors tomorrow. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good evening. Bye bye.